Hey, JV here. Excited you're with me today. I hope you're having a great one. We're having a tropical storm here in South Florida, so I decided to come up to the studio and talk a little bit about my favorite device, the Kobo Forma. People have asked me, why do I love this device so much? Well, we're going to go into that today. I will talk a little bit about the Note Air. As a reader, I do believe it's an acceptable reader. If you have a Note Air, you can make this work, but I have a little buggy system with it that puts the Kobo Forma ahead. And again, look, the truth is these are two separate devices. The Note Air is kind of like a zoom lens. You can do a million things with it. You can zoom in and out. You know, there's a lot of this stuff you can do with it. Where the Kobo is like a prime lens. It's going to be a reader. That's it. Just like the Remarkable 2 is a note taker. That's it. These Onyx devices do a lot of things. They do a lot of things good, not great, and that's kind of like a zoom lens, right? It's always good, but when you really want that great shot, you want that individual non-multitasking device. So the thing that I want to talk about with the Kobo Forma is very simple. The device costs over $200 for the Kobo Forma. It's the size of it is absolutely perfect for me. I think it's the perfect size device. I think the Note Air is a great size device, but it's a little heavy for a reader in bed, right? It's just a little bit big, where the Kobo Forma, I think, is perfect. It's got a nice grip to it. It just feels good in the hand. I mean, look at that thing. It's just, it's like a regular book. It just reminds me of a regular book. And maybe I'm old school here at 51, but it really, really, really is a good feel to it. Now, the Note Air has a good feel to it too. You know, you can change the fonts. Again, it's a decent reader. But where the Kobo really wins the game, I spent over a couple $100 for this, right? I don't have an affiliate link or anything for you. I just bought this. But when it comes to this device, there's a thing called Overdrive. And I know it works in the United States. I'm not sure around the rest of the world, but when I was setting it up, I believe you can. And the thing with the Kobo with Overdrive is it's also on the Note Air. I put it on here, but it's a little difficult to use because I can't get to the menu or the table of contents, because every time I pull down on the Note Air, it's taking me to the main menu. And when I go to the main menu, I'm trying to get to the app, Overdrive, where I can utilize that. And it's really important because the majority of the books that I read come from Overdrive. I read a book a week, basically, about 52 books a year from a fiction standpoint on this device. If I take that times $10 a book, that's $520 in books, right? Where does that money go? Well, with Overdrive, and this is what's so critical, is that when I go to discover a book on here, basically I am borrowing it from the local library. So I'm saving $520 $520 a year just on books alone. This device is actually saving me. So I'm actually ahead with this device. So let me go ahead and try to get in here, and I'll show you what I mean. So basically, it connects to my local network. To my local library. I'm just going to push any book here, and I can search for books. And when I go into the to get the book with Overdrive, I just go ahead and hold on one second. Let me go ahead. Let's see if I can find something. Let's go into this way it sleeps. When I click these three little dots, when I come in here, I can borrow with Overdrive. And basically, then I can borrow that book for a few weeks, and I don't have to pay for it. You can do that on a Note Air, but again, it's a little bit of a challenge. There it is. When you come here, you can go to the table of contents, and it's just a little goofy. So when I come to the cover page, it works. I mean, it's like everything on the Note Air, but then I got to go to so it only gives me 2 pages. So in order to do this, I have to go, and I can't get to it. This is where it gets tricky. I'm just showing you. That's the regular. I'm trying to get back to the menu, or to the table of contents, so I can load more of the book. And so again, that app does not optimize for the Note Air. It's not a fair fight. Okay, I'm just going to tell you, it's not a fair fight. I'm going to close that, and I'm going to go into where the fair fight is, and that is when you go into their reader. So if you're willing to download books and PDFs, again, one more step, right? So if you only have the Note Air, this is great. But then what you got to do is you got to buy the book, you got to download it, you got to make sure it's DRM free, and then you can read it fantastic on the device, okay? So the difference is when I come in here, it just works, right? So this book, I'm going to go to the book I have here, my library, and I'm just going to click on here, and it just works. So again, I can just read, and again, I like things that just work. Again, nothing against the Note Air. I like the Onyx products. You can make it work, but you got to get the EPUB. Also, you can go to the Kobo app, but again, it's just a little bit tricky in that watch it. Once I get in here, I'll open a book up. I'll open the same book, and we've got a little bit of a refresh rate issue. Okay, so it's going to open up. And again, on the books itself, if you want to put that in here it is. Okay, so I'm on the book. It works, but see, there's a little refresh issue, and I can go through it. Let's see, and we're going to go ahead and let me change the refresh. Let me go ahead and make it really fast, but it degrades. It degrades it a little bit. But let's go ahead and hit this. Come on. Okay. And you see, I have, and again, maybe it's my patience level, but it's really hard for me a lot of times. Let's see, come on. I don't know why that's not working. Let's see. There it is. Okay, I'm sorry. That's why, because I got to scroll down. So I'm going to hit A2. So the thing is with this device is you just got to be patient with it. And I don't have a lot of patience, right? I want to read something. I just want to grab my device and read it. So once you get it set up, it's good, but it just doesn't work well because these apps are not set up for this. That's not the device's issue, right? That is not the device's issue. It's just the apps aren't there. And like Voya said, sometimes he feels it would be better if they didn't even put the Google Play on here, because then you would have to use the native functionality of this, which is actually really good. And that's when you come in here to the library and the EPUB, it actually works as a great reader. I think it's a better reader if you get the EPUB on here than the Remarkable 2, right? But at the end of the day, it doesn't compare to the single use case of the Kobo, where I can go into overdrive, I can download books, it's saving me $520, so I would rather have that, and I can throw it in my bag and take it with me. So it's not an indictment on the Note Air. The Note Air is not built for this, and the apps are not optimized. Maybe one day they'll optimize overdrive, maybe they'll optimize the Kobo, maybe that will work. But for now, I like the ability to go to Dropbox and get my books out of here. I like the ability to do overdrive. And again, for me, it's simple and fast. I want something that's simple and fast and works. It's more important to me. And I know there's some people that just have this device and it's like, okay, I got to make it work. Okay, make it work. But that's what you got to do. You got to make it work, right? Where this device just works. It's you plug in and it takes you 2 seconds and it works real well. So it's a great device. Once again, I think that the Note Air is a great device. This is not something I'm going to sit in bed and read. I mean, you can see it's just not comfortable. It's too big. Where this device is perfect. I can put it in one hand. I'm just going to sit there and read it. And I read a book a week with this. So it's a testament to it. And I use overdrive. And I think that's the key thing. When you're using overdrive, you're not paying for books, right? So you're getting books for free. I love this Kobo. I mean, I think it's a great device. Can you do it on the Kindle? Probably. The form factor of this is, I think it's a perfect screen size. It just works for me. And as always, let's talk about it. What is your favorite reader? And do you have a multi-use device with this? By the way, the Lumi I think is too big. If this is too big, then the Lumi is going to be too big. Maybe the Super Notes, but I'm reading fiction books on this. If I had to read PDFs, I've said before, I would go with the Onyx MaxBooks Lumi, but the paper has got a new update coming out next week. I'm real anxious for that. We'll see. But for right now, there's nobody going to dethrone 52 weeks of reading and hours of reading. This device is just superior. And again, when you connect it to overdrive, the secret, you're not even spending money. You just have to buy the device, connect to overdrive, and you're good to go. I will, little caveat, wherever you're at in the world, make sure you go to overdrive and check to see that you have a library wherever you're at in the world that you can watch it. But in the United States, you're good to go. I'm pretty sure in Canada too. So again, nothing against the Note Air. It's a great device. I think it's a great reader and note taker, but it's not gonna beat the Kobo for overall reading. It isn't. It's not even close. The Kobo just works. Form factor's better. It works with overdrive. And like I said, it's already paid for itself. I've already read about 30 books on here, so I'm up $100 compared to other devices that I have to buy books for. So that's a good way to get your Kobo. You don't get it for free, but you'll get your books for free using Overdrive, and that will pay for the device, which is really cool. All right, as always, if you don't mind liking that video, that helps the algorithm. I'll keep bringing you videos every single day talking about tech, and we're going to start breaking into some other topics here real soon, but it was rainy today. I couldn't get outside, and I decided to talk about the Kobo because everybody's asking me. What I really love about it is the Kobo with Overdrive. That's the key thing. Those two combine for a killer device that you don't spend money. Once you get the device, you're basically at a zero-sum game, and you're actually saving money year after year. So you can have this device and other devices, and that's really how I work. I have this device and my other devices, and this is just specifically my reader that I read a lot of fiction on. I still get hardcovers and paperbacks for nonfiction. I like to mark books up. But when it comes to fiction, I absolutely love this thing. All right, thanks for watching. We'll see you in tomorrow's video. Go have a fantastic day.